Right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Cricket Vana. This week, it's all about IPL. There's only IPL going on, and we'll talk about that. We have Vinod, Somo, and Vinay, and Sridhar with us. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Um, so, without wasting time, the first thing, the biggest trend of the week, the star of the week, Rahul Tewatia. How good was he? ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅವತ್ತು chasing against Punjab. I saw his tweet later. He said, "Sorry guys, I was a little bit late." ಅಂತಿರೋ tweet ಮಾಡಿದಾನೆ after the game. He was 8 out of 13 balls or something.
Yeah,
13.
7 or 8 out of 13, 14 balls, almost
Yeah.
like 50.
And then he just took on Cottrell and Shami and then opened up the game beautifully. And it was the record chase ever in IPL history, 226. So ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾತಾಡೋಣ. ಸೊ ಸೋಮು ಏನನ್ಸುತ್ತು ನೋಡಿದ್ರ ಲೈವ್ ಟಿವಾಟಿಯಾ?
No, ನೋಡ್ದಪ್ಪ, ನಾನು ಯಾವುದು ಮಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಕಣೋ. I think I have probably pretty much watched most of the games anyway. In fact, ನಾನು ವಿನಾಯ್ಗೂ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ, what, this guy is going to lose the game. What is he doing ಅಂತ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ left-hander, the ball was coming to him. He was not able to connect in the first 7, 10, 15 balls. I'll tell you, because of the spinners. I think the kid likes the ball coming to the bat quickly. And once Cottrell started bowling, my goodness, he changed the entire complexion of the game. And it's also very, very clean hitting. What I saw was, it was not sumne beastly long. He came, he had a purpose. Everything was middle, right in the sweet timing. And he changed the entire complexion of the game. In that 1 over, before that he was started hitting, but that one last but 1 over, that was the game changer anyway.
In fact, the team had complete confidence in him. That's been his role, and I think except RR team management, everybody, including myself, for the whole world, was blaming. We were shocked to see this guy struggling so much in the middle of a huge chase. But ಅವನು ಬಂದಾಗ ಹೇಳಂದಂತೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟೈಮ್ ತಗೋತೀನಿ, ಬಟ್ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಹಿಟ್ 3. ಅವನು ಹಿಂದಿಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವನು ಟೀಮ್ಮೇಟ್ ಯಾರೋ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, ಶಾಮಿಗೆ ಒಂದು 2 6 ಹೊಡಿತೀನಿ, ಕಾಟ್ರೇಲ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು 3 6 ಹೊಡಿತೀನಿ, ಅವ್ರಿಬ್ರದ್ದು 2 ಓವರ್ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದು ಸ್ಯಾಮ್ಸನ್ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲ ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವಿನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಅಂತ. he was very
my goodness. And also, Samson got out on a very, key moment. If he was there, it wouldn't have been that difficult, probably. But I tell you, oh my goodness.
Vinod, ಮ್ಯೂಟಲ್ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಮ್ಯೂಟಲ್ ಇದೆ.
They sent him because he was a good hitter for spinners in the practice sessions. Avagale kalsidavanu spinners ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಹೊಡಿತಾನೆ ಅಂತಲೇ ಕಳ್ಸಿದ್ದವನು. And they were worried that he was not hitting for the spinners, but I think Ponting, as he said, and Samson said, it required one hit to happen, and it happened. And he actually craves for recognition. I recently saw a video where last year Ponting
is that right?
It's amazing.
Ponting for it. Just appreciating him for the 4 catches he took, right? Just appreciating him for the 4 catches he took, and he actually knocked on the shoulders of Ponting and said, "Nan ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾನು ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾಕೆ ಟೀಮ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ."
And then wow, really?
ಅದು ಟ್ವಿಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ, ನಾನು ಟ್ವಿಟರ್ or Facebook a link is record. I want to share the screen and show this video. It's a 3-minute video.
Our friend ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು Ponting ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, 4 ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ತಗೊಂಡೆ ಅಪ್ರಿಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ you have to fight for what you deserve, man ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಂತ ಅವನು.
Wow, really?
ಅವನು ಡೆಲ್ಲಿಲಿ ಇದ್ದ, ಅವನು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ 2 ವರ್ಷ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿಲಿ ಇದ್ದ. ಅವನು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಅವಾಗ್ಲೇನೆ ಈ ಬ್ರೋಕ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್. ಅವರು ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ ಡೇರ್ ಡೆವಿಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ಸತ್ ಅವಾಗ. they bought him for 3 crores when his base price was 10 lakhs, and everybody was like, ಅವನು ಏನು ಅಂತ, because he was, he had some hard hitting and handy bowler, definitely a good fielder. But adu nanu Twitter alli yaro forward ಮಾಡಿದ ಒಂದು ವಿಡಿಯೋ ನೋಡಿದೆ. I am searching for it. ನಾನು ಇವತ್ತು actually show ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕೋಣ ಅಂತ ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನದಿಂದ ಹುಡುಕ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. I cannot find that video. So if anybody finds it, send me the link. We'll put it on.
It's on ESPN Cricket Info also, like Ponting and
okay, I'll be searching. So on that note,
But
want
I
to
just
give-
want to end that topic of conversation.
Yeah.
But I think I agree with Kevin Peterson. That particular duration of bowling was horrible.
Horrible,
That
yeah.
he hit it. I appreciate him for hitting it, but for the standard of bowlers Cottrell was and for Shami was, some of the balls that were bowled in that 12 balls where he hit them very well, it was pretty odd. Like I would say, Stuart Broad ಹೊಡೆದಿರುವಾಗನೂ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು ball, but the kind of bowling that these guys did to him for the 2 overs was pretty ordinary for the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
I mean,
fact, some of the bowling in the death overs have been pretty ordinary, in my opinion. I mean, I can sit here and easily say that, but
yeah.
for the people who have played so much cricket and so many death overs they have bowled, I think that was pretty poor performance, and quite a few people in the last 2, 3, 4 games. For sure, I know that. So,
ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೂ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. ಈ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ 4 overs ಅಲ್ಲಿ we have been consistently seeing 60 plus. Actually, Mumbai Indians against RCB and today they scored 89 runs, precisely 89 runs in last 4 overs in both the games.
Mm-hmm.
And again, has the batting really been elevated so well, or is the bowling really that poor? What's really happening there?
See, batting elevated, Andre, if you really bowl some, if you're trying Yorkers or if you're trying, ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾ, I don't think they're bowling to a plan. ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, for example, I cannot remember exactly what it was. The field was set for an over pitch or probably a Yorker, fielding, and he bowls a short. One the hooker, one the square cutter. Both of them went for 6. So obviously they're not bowling to the plan to begin with. And
Right.
I think the other thing which I'm thinking is obviously the wicket has slowed a little bit and they've gotten to a point where they can wait and still slog the ball. And the ball is getting a little softer than normal. I mean, it could be several things. That's probably what's happening, Anta. But bowling is not to the parapa. Batting, yeah.
So on that note, I want to ask this question to everybody. It can be a bit controversial, but now even the last year, 2 years ago, one the innings actually Uttapa he became very famous for this kind of a bad innings where he could not take off at all, and he stayed there for almost 18th over, and I think he scored like a run a ball 45 or something when they are chasing like 190 odd. Right? So ಅವಾಗ ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಒಂದು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು, why can't the team retire out a batsman who is struggling? I mean, I know it can be like a black mark on his career, or maybe it's an ego that ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಗಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಆಡ್ಬೇಕಾರೆ we have all done that, right? ನಿನ್ ಕೈಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಬರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇವನು ಕಳ್ಸೋಣ, ಇವಾಗ ಹೊಡಿತಾನೆ, right? We do that so many times.
Or like the baseball rule, alva. In baseball, if you miss 3 balls, you're out, alva.
ಅದು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಔಟ್ ಇದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೋಲ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ.
Yeah. See, that's the rule. That's different. But I mean, if my team, if I'm seeing a batsman who is, I mean, yes, Tewatia at that point of time, yeah, there were a lot of topics about, he has to just get out, he has to get run out. Samson should run him out and bring someone else. I mean, yes, he turned around, but it's not gonna happen every game. Somebody who will be I mean, not even Dhoni, right? We haven't seen even Dhoni doing, hitting like 7 sixes in 9 balls after being 15 out of 25 balls, right? So I mean, it's a one-off. It's obviously one of the most trolling innings I can say, by any batsman in IPL history. I mean, not even IPL. I mean, it could be any cricket, but
any T20 cricket.
Yeah, any T20, even one day. I don't know if even in one day you can find someone who was like that and suddenly switched gears. Like, whoa, what did we just see among us? I mean, yeah, there are a couple of air guard innings, but idella last like someone like Pandya or Pollard, last 2-3 overs ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೂ ಈ ತರ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಅಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ 2 overs ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ನೇ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಗೇಮ್. But what I'm saying is, let's say he did not do it, let's say he failed that day, will that arise, will that give birth to this strategy by teams? I haven't seen anyone doing it, but it's possible. They say, we'll just
the reason ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ, then it is not always somebody has to hit. The bowler could be bowling well for that particular batsman. Not necessarily you can sit here and think, hey, he's not hitting at that. Maybe they know that he cannot hit. They have studied his film or whatever. Hey, if you bowl this kind of balls to him, he may not be able to hit. And who knows? Because there's so much information before somebody comes into bat. They might have done that. I don't know. I'm not saying that I know that. So that's a possibility.
Yeah, but specifically when you talk about, you brought the question about getting retired hurt and getting a different batsman, right?
Yeah.
Keeping aside circumstances, when you talk about a rule, it has to be balanced. Can you get a bowler in the middle of an over if he's bowling bad?
Exactly. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Wendy, you make a good point.
Let's talk holistically. If you can do both, then you have a point to talk about. If you cannot do both,
I like that.
then you can't talk about that. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, if you allow it for a batsman, then you should say, okay, oh, 3 ball 4 6 ಹೊಡೆಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು ಬಿಡು, ನೀ bowling ಮಾಡಬೇಡ, ನಾನು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೀನಿ.
Yeah, Cottrell would never finish it over.
Yeah, exactly. So nobody will.
But the amount of variables that are involved in cricket are one of these are the variables, right? So that's what makes cricket exciting, right?
Exciting.
So
yeah.
I mean,
but the thing is, no one can stop a team from doing it. I mean, right now, yes, bowler gang ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, unless he really gets injured, but a team can just ask him to come back. I don't think they can stop them, but I know they won't do it. It's also, the reputation, it can.
I would think about a simple thing is that if you're getting a person retired out, you lose an over or you lose half an over.
Fair enough.
Yeah, look, I think they have to write a specific rule for that. I don't think they have written it. See, I mean, again, retired hurt or retired, where does it happen? If in a match with, not in any competitive games, probably when they are playing, tour games or whatever, because everybody has to bat on the hang bartare. Otherwise, in any competitive game, test, 50 overs, 20 overs, you don't recall a batsman. It's not like you can recall a batsman. You know what I mean? I think there's a specific rule. I don't know the rule, I don't think you can call the batsman because of the inability to hit. So
I think maybe a batsman should be allowed. Is that me?
We're showing something.
So ಅದು ನಾರಾಯಣ್, ರಿಟೈರ್ಡ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ಈಗ ಇಯರ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರ ಪ್ಲೇಯರ್ಸ್. ಹೂ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ಸ್ ದ ಗೇಮ್? ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಟನ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಕೋಚ್?
ಇಯರ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಅವರು.
If they want to change the game, who calls the shots? Is it the coach or the captain?
Generally the coach.
Okay, so coach, if he has a direct line of communication, if it's allowed, he'll say, just throw a wicket. It's an order from him. Done.
Here's the other thing that I would say, right? Like, I think when a batsman retires hurt, right, that's his own decision. If he thinks he can't play on, then he retires himself because he's too hurt to move on. Now, I think it would be interesting if a batsman himself has the volition to call himself retired out if he's not feeling it, right? Because I think that, so like, let me rewind a little bit here, right? I think the beautiful thing about especially T20 cricket is how volatile of a game it is, right? It can literally turn within just a couple balls or whatever, right? Even this tournament, the first 6 or 7 matches, not one team chased a score and won. And since that point, everyone's chasing scores and winning now. So even the tournament itself has switched, right? Or I'll even go back to an example like, just like Tawatia. Remember Bishnoi, I think 2-3 matches ago, that spinner, he bowled like an absolute horrible first over. I think he had 11 runs in the first 2 balls, and we were thinking, who is this guy? He's horrible. And then he turned it around in the next like 2-3 balls of the over, and then the next 2 or 3 overs he was amazing. And for the rest of the tournament, he's been a great spinner, right? So the finicky nature of the sport, I think it allows for this to happen naturally, where you can perform one way and then another, just literally in a couple of balls. Let's just say Tawatia were to carry on, and let's say there was a rule, right, where he can retire himself out. Let's say that it's in the batsman's control and he can retire himself out. It's not on the captain or the coach. Let's just say Tawatia did what he did. Great. He's a hero now. But let's just say he carried on, and then he loses the match for them. He pays the price, right? Because he won't be selected in the next 11. They won't allow him to go bad, or maybe he won't even make the squad. So I think that would be interesting to allow maybe something like that if it's the batsman's own decision, if he's not feeling proper to go out, because if he's not feeling okay, he'll go out. But if he's confident in himself, like Tawatia, he'll carry on and maybe he'll change the match. You know, I think it's really based on the mentality of the batsman is what I would say.
Yeah, agree.
I would say if the coach has control of the game, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೊಡಿ earpiece. So he decides.
Earpiece is a very controversial topic.
ಎಂತೆಂತ ಗೇಮ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ನ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು T20 ಮಾಡಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So they can do whatever they want. Right?
I don't think that will happen anyway.
Yeah.
So
okay, I found this video. Quick I think it's a 2-minute video. Let me share this. Video ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? So he comes to in the dressing room ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ ಟೀಮ್ ಇದು I think last year or 2 years ago ಅವನು 4 catches ತಗೊಂಡೆ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇವನು ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಗುಡ್ ಜಾಬ್ ಗೈಸ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ನು ಬಂದು ಇವ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ತಿಯಾನೆ ನಾನು ಇವತ್ತು 4 catch ತಗೊಂಡೆ ಅಪ್ರಿಷಿಯೇಟ್ 2019. Yes, coach pointing to recognize the achievement. भाई अपने हक के लिए लड़ाई करने का
Huh.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
You were asking, right? Retired.
There you go. Using his team.
Huh.
और कहीं ना कहीं मैं मुझे अपने अंदर बिलीव था कि ठीक है अगर एक लगेगा तो उसके बाद अप्रूवल।
Wow.
Wow.
You know, I
What a
saw
story.
his fingers in the ears when he got that.
Yeah.
What is he
ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್
doing
ಗೇಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ
ಅಂತ?
ಮಾಡ್ದ ಅವನು ಅದು ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಗೇಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೇನೋ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದ ಅವನು ಒಂಥರ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನಾಯ್ಸ್ ಶಟ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದ ಬಟ್ ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಟೆವಾಟಿಯಾ ಅಮೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಸಿಂಡ್ರೆಲಾ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು one great point about this IPL is it's turning out to be very evenly fought. Yes, there are some one-sided games this week, but I think we'll probably not find a big gap between the qualifiers and the non-qualifiers so soon. I think it will go on till the last week until we know who's going to make it. But I think, after now, everybody has played 3 games each. And it's all, four teams are 2-1 and 4 teams are 1-2. It took 10 games it only took 10 games for all teams to register 1 win, at least. This is the second fastest in IPL. In 2009, they took 9 games. Is at 10 games on there. Last year was the worst. It took 28 games for the last 8th team to win its first game, and that was RCB.
RCB.
But
So
you want to talk about RCB's game where they were so
yeah,
easy.
they were 0-6 at one time. Right?
Oh, and
So
all
last
6,
year RCB was 0-6, and then they won the 7th game, which is the 28th of the season. But eitherly, by 10 games, everybody has won at least 1 game. So that's that just shows. And one cycle actually 8 teams were, they had a loop. They've already established a loop. One team, A beat B, B beat C, C beat D. ಆ ಥರ ಒಂದು ಕೊನೆಗೆ cycle complete ಆಗಿದೆ. So there are 7 games that complete that cycle. And another great thing, at least for me personally, and I'm sure many of you will agree, a lot of Indian youngsters are doing very well.
ನಾನು ವಿನಯ್ ಹೇಳಿ ಅದನ್ನ exactly my
Amazing.
thing. Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
Gill, like Shubman Gill, Samson, Rahul and Mayank are kind of established, but they are not,
What about this Kishan guy? Is it Kishan or Ishan?
Kishan, Devdutt Padikkal,
99.
Washington Sundar. We have to talk about
Washington.
He should have been the man of the match the other day when everybody, it was 201 chasing 201. And this guy went for like 2 for 18 in 4 overs.
Yeah.
He should have been the man of the match.
Bishnoi,
Saini, Navdeep Saini.
Oh, what a special over that was.
Imagine a bowler, Navdeep Saini, what a great point in his career that, he won the super over against Bumrah. I think that this is the first time I'm seeing Bumrah losing a super over. I don't know.
And also, mind you, 8 runs, there was not enough runs for him to do anything.
Exactly. No, but I mean, Sainik, bowling only 8, bowling the super over for 8 runs was also a great achievement in itself. I mean, yeah, forget Bumrah. There was nothing really, 1-to-1 contest per se. But so on that super over, I know Vinod brought this up last time too. Why didn't they go with Mayank Agarwal, for the super over? Because he just got out in the 20th over. Yes, I agree. He had some cramps. But, they just went with I think the better 6 hitters in the team, probably with Rahul and was it Puran or Max Puran? So same thing, Illi, they just went with Hardik and Pollard. Although, Ishan Kishan got out in 20th over after hitting 9 sixers. And again, one side of the field was a shorter boundary, so they could have used that into advantage and have a left-right combination. So I just wanted to bring that up, like what should be the super over strategy that was lacking, from Mumbai and Punjab. Vinod. Still on mute.
Sorry. Mumbai and Punjab, I don't on the Mayank Agarwal thing that you're talking about, right?
Yeah, Agarwal and then Ishan Kishan, right? So Ishan Kishan especially more than Punjab, because he was a left-hander, and they could have taken that shorter boundary advantage as well, because ಇದು ಒಂದೇ over adrinda there is no strike rotation or whatever, so it will always be an offside, shorter for both of them. So
no, I think typically what happens is in super overs you want the miss hit also to go. So when you have Pollard and these guys, Hardik Pandya, and that's what even on the Punjab, this one, I was anticipating why did Mayank Agarwal not come, right? Typically what happens if you take an Hardik Pandya or a Pollard, right, their miss hits will also go out of the boundary if it happens. Yeah. So we know that what will happen is in the super over, people will bowl across the crease. The bowlers will use the crease. They'll use the crease, they'll use the length. The batsman will use the crease, but because both of them, they've worked it out. A super over has been planned already, right? So the only gamble that you have is that even if a person has a miss hit, will it go out of the boundary, right? So that goes into a lot of calculation in super overs.
Yeah, and and for people
I don't
like
think Mayank Agarwal will get so many miss hits.
Yeah, And for people like Pollard and Russell, no ground is
Yeah.
big enough anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. On that. Oh, and one interesting stat that I observed. It might be silly stat, but RCB has played 3 games. So Virat Kohli, the highest run getter in IPL, has not hit a single boundary in 3 games yet. And that boundary he hit in the last ball of the super over to win the game was his first one. But mind you, it won't be counted against his statistics anyway. The super over numbers are gone in the wind.
Gone in the wind.
So
And
Virat Kohli is yet to hit a boundary in IPL 2020.
And also yet to take a catch too, Kana.
Hey, wait. Did he? Oh, yeah. He only dropped one. Huh? Yeah, that's true. I mean, he has already faced about 30 balls without hitting a boundary. That's an amazing. I mean, that just shows what he's practicing with. I don't want to get into that.
Yeah, you want to be a Sunil Gavaskar now?
Nope. Okay. Any other interesting topics before we can have a fun exercise of building a fantasy team?
Look, the fun exercise, I mean, isn't there end what I'm thinking is, obviously, the young cricketers of India are doing extremely, extremely well. They're all probably 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20 to 25, 26 at the most, right?
Yeah.
All that's what the young cricketers with a lot of energy bring to the team. That's one thing. And I'm not saying this with any certainty, but when you flip back, Chennai Super Kings are not doing that well so far. It doesn't mean they're not going to do it tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow is another game.
Yeah.
So when you have the Dhonis and the Watsons of the industry, with their older, I think they tend to it's very hard to come back because their reputation at stake. Everything. These young kids, they don't. Tiwari couldn't care less if he hit or not. So he's going to come out and swing the bat tomorrow morning. But that is what is that a part of this T20, which I'm seeing the seasoned cricketers or the cricketers from the past who've done extremely well, except AB de Villiers.
Yeah.
Is it going to be that? I mean, I'm particularly talking about Chennai. I always had Chennai as in the last 4, but now after tomorrow I should probably make a decision. Are they going to do well? Is the question.
I told you last week. I've already gone out on limb and saying that CSK will not qualify this year for the first time.
I mean, just a thought.
Yeah, they might prove me wrong, but I mean, look, from the looks of the teams, at least from the initial looks like Hyderabad and Chennai are the 2 weakest teams, but it can change. I don't know.
Hey, with Williamson coming in, Hyderabad can do well. Brilliant bat madam.
But still, I think they are 5, 6, 7, and idella inno ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ weak.
Yeah, they don't have entire year, right?
Yeah, even bowling too. I mean, that people call SRH as the knuckleball academy. Sandeep Kaul and Bhuvaneshwar and everybody, they're famous for the knuckleball slower deliveries in Hyderabad that may not work out in UAE. So they might have to come up with a new strategy, and they don't have Tom Moody anymore. So yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Hey, you know what? Among the, I just want to have one opinion. I think Vinod and Kashyap, you followed a lot of local Indian cricket in the last several years when I left the cricket. I mean, not that, probably even recently. Who do you think? Obviously there's a bunch of cricketers, about 10, 12 players are extremely, extremely, extremely good. I mean, where do you think? I mean, obviously with all these kids coming in, there's a glut of batsmen, glut of bowlers there. And who do you think is going to come out on top with all these things? And if you have not watched it, I've listened to some of the young cricketers. They're all giving Rahul Bhaiya. They're giving credit to Rahul Bhaiya. I mean, left, right, and center. At least 4 or 5 of them, Rahul Bhaiya, Dravid Bhaiya. So, Dravid Sir. So, they're talking about it. Obviously, they have really molded him so well. I think they owe it to him. Totally, I guess. So,
and nobody is holding back. I mean, they're quite vocal in praising the Rahul Dravid and giving giving credit where it's
Correct,
due,
yeah.
and they all talk, Nandu NCA during my academy time, or under 19, or even India A, including Hardik Pandya, right? One time alone, India A gela tour maddown. He went back to India A tours with Dravid. So even and another name like Rahul Dravid, many youngsters take is Abhishek Nair.
Oh, that?
He's been doing a phenomenal job. He's an assistant coach for KKR, and he's been a mentor for Dinesh Karthik for many years now, and but even many other, including Shubman Gill and Ishan Kishan, many of them also they praise him a lot. So we should be lucky that we have Dravid and Abhishek Nair kind of people in the backstage, per se, molding, because being a head coach of the national team is different, from actually molding these kind of people. And I think Dravid, that's where Dravid and Abhishek Nair are more critical than someone like Ravi Shastri or any other main coach, I guess. So
Yeah, no, they've taught him well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the basics they need, and especially under 19 with Dravid, these kids have done tremendously well.
Yeah.
In the last maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
I think that's the new crop of cricketers that are coming. I mean, again, do you know anybody who you think is going to? I mean, I have watched in the last 2 weeks, watched more than I haven't watched much of anybody. If you guys can say, hey, keep an eye on this guy, I would love to see him.
I would say Shubman Gill. First pick would be Shubman Gill. I think he's gonna make it to the test team as well pretty soon, I would say.
Yeah. So my pick will be the two bowlers from KKR, Sanju Samson. Two bowlers from KKR.
Oh, Mavi and Nagarkoti.
Sanju Samson.
And Saini too.
Is Mavi that good? He bowled well. Is
Mavi
Mavi that good?
Navdeep Sani, I've seen him in the international level as well. He has his own little bit of quirks. I mean, that special thing is not there still for him. That we should see if it comes up. And Sanju Samson and Rahul, if they come to form, and Shreyas Iyer, we've got three people covered solidly in the middle order for us. And Rahul opening and Sanju Samson either middle. If Dhawan has an injury or Rohit has an injury, you have like Sanju Samson and Rahul both opening.
Why do you even have to bring back what's the left-hander? The other guy.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. Right?
I don't think. I mean, he's older, and there's so many young cricketers who can bat probably even better than him at all any day.
Yeah, I would be surprised if Dhawan comes back to Indian team at all, actually, because he's already fallen off the grid in testing, and he has never done great in T20 anyway.
Yeah,
I mean his strength was ODI. He was amazingly good in ODIs before, especially when it comes to ICC. But now, if you see, if it's only ODI, then in next 4 years World Cup game, I don't think he will be still there. So there is absolutely no point in continuing with him anymore.
That's what I'm saying. These young cricketers should be pushed in. Let them fail 5 innings. Who cares?
Yeah,
they're gonna.
Yeah, I mean, one thing, we have too many openers and too many wicket keepers. But wicket keepers, yes, some of them are great batsmen. But yeah, I mean, you can't really go look for a Dhoni 2.0 at all. He will be a new.
They could be at some point in time, Kunal.
Yeah, there could be. I mean, there could be. Someone could be better than him. Who knows?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen Sanju Samson keeping wickets, but the kid bats so beautifully, Kunal. I mean, my goodness, what a nice hitting! I've never seen him. This is the first time I've seen him. I've always heard about him. My goodness.
He always does that. Oh no, every season.
I spoke about him in the first talk that we had about IPL. I spoke about
correct. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. But again, I hadn't seen him. So
I
mean, how do you keep wickets, Vinny?
He's very good at wickets also. Like he's pretty quick as well, pretty fast as well. And the one thing that I've seen is in his keeping, Dhoni Tarane, he's a slow raiser. Like the only thing I worry about punt thinks he's short. He's a very early riser, so you might see misses. So I've seen this guy to not move very quickly. Sanju Samson, like I'm not. His footing is pretty strong on footing.
Correct, but does it mean that has he cost any game in these games you have seen, being him not getting up quickly or whatever you want to call that?
I don't think they have lost a game because of his keeping.
Yeah.
If that is your question, I don't think he has lost.
Obviously, Rishabh Pant is on everybody's radar. I'm not a big fan of him for whatever reason. I don't know. I mean, he's got a couple of test runners. I get it. But when you see Sanju Samson batting, he makes it look so easy.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, flawless hitting
But
upon
again, Sanju Samson, I'm really hoping that he brings in that consistency and put a price to his wicket, because he always had that magic touch. Every season he comes up with one of this magical innings and then goes off. But now you can see he has already played 2 good innings in 3 games, which is already a good sign. But I'm hoping he will play at least another 4 or 5 good innings in the next 10 games.
Yeah.
And
also I want to see him on a 4-day cricket somehow. How does he bat? And that kind of gives him when you have a good technique.
Yeah,
that's what brings a level up in the T20 or 50. You have to have technique, obviously. I don't know, I haven't seen him. So I mean, the reason I'm talking about it is, Sanju Samson looks beautiful. I mean, flawless. I mean, he might have gotten out. He doesn't pay too much price for his wicket and all. That is what Vishy did. That's what Marquardt did. That's what David Gower did. They're all. I mean, they're pleasing batsmen now.
Lakshman ಹಂಗೆ ಆಗೋದು.
Yeah. So they're all. That's what I mean. So I mean, I would rather see a beautiful 60 or 70 from Sanju Samson than a laborious 120 from somebody else. I mean, you want to.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ultimately, it boils down to the people. If you see, right, what you're saying actually looks beautiful. Typically, it looks beautiful for people who have time to play, right? Even when Rohit Sharma was not successful, people just loved seeing him back. We just had time to play. Somehow they
again,
have time to play.
That's the hand and eye coordination. That's what it's all about. I mean, they have so much time. They can pretty much hit 2 different shots for the same ball. That's how good they are. So that's what it is. You're right. So I just want to see him one day, probably in the whites, and how does he play? And I love to see him. He's tumba chana bat martanappa.
This could be his breakthrough year. Actually, I mean, he already looks leaner and fitter than before, and looks like he's been quite serious. Recent I was talking to Virat Kohli, and
correct.
Yeah,
I read that.
I wanted to say, how can I get more serious and get into the team and cement my place. And how old are you? 25. You can do everything else after 35. I don't think you will play cricket. So for next 10 years, just play cricket and focus on that. And you
no. What he said was,
start making those sacrifices.
Fitness is important.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what he's doing. I believe he changed his diet. He changed a bunch of things. I read that article on the channel.
Similarly, Shubman Gill, I somehow feel he is
the star. He is the star. I'm telling you, he is the test star for us next. Shubman
You think so?
Shubman Gill will do it. He will do it. I think Karthik has been given the message. Who has given it? I don't know. Karthik has been given a message to just invest in him. It has come from where, I don't know. Even if he fails, he's going to keep opening. So there's a lot of faith in him, that guy. So
yesterday also he what 50-60 and over that beautiful bat man. Beautiful batting. I love to watch him. I'm glad I'm watching this. This is the first time I'm watching this many T20s. I've got nothing else going on. And I have my second.
I'm actually glad that this is the time IPL is happening, because on a personal front, I've been following things happening in India. The COVID is very stressful at this point. India is getting very stressful. At least people have something to fall back when they sit at home with IPL and stuff.
It's a big boon for Indian diaspora, especially to at least to forget that boredom and that frustration. At least and then 3 hours every day is a huge investment.
I'm watching cricket like I was watching in my high school days when I was in TV, probably in early 80s when we were watching crazy. So but I'm watching every game. I mean, I'm religiously watching Martha. It's beautiful.
So talking about watching IPL, who else is really annoyed by this fake crowd noise?
Oh my goodness!
ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕಾಮೆಂಟ್ರಿನೇ ಸರಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. I don't think they have come up with the right balance. And so one other question, is that fake noise only for us in the TV, or is it also happening on the stadium?
I believe it's happening in the stadium as well.
Really?
But ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾ ನನಗೂ ಹಂಗೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತು ಕಣೋ. I mean, I thought maybe I'm not able to listen. Maybe I'm distracted ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿನ್ಗೂ ಕೇಳಿಸಲ್ವಾ? ಈ ಕಾಮೆಂಟ್ರಿನೇ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ ಅವನು.
ಕಾಮೆಂಟ್ರಿನೇ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಗೆ.
Oh,
ಫಸ್ಟ್
good.
ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ನಂಗೆ ಒಂಥರ ಅದು ಲೌಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಕೂತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಮನೇಲಿ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ.
I'm glad ನಂಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕಿವಿಡ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. That's good.
No, our ears are fine. I think it's just that they haven't found the right balance. We should file a petition to Saurav Ganguly and say, please stop this.
By the way, some interesting stuff that you guys look for the last 3 weeks, Alva. If you look at the last 3 weeks, right, there are 3 grounds: Sharjah, Dubai,
Abu
Dhabi.
Yeah.
In the last 3 weeks, KKR and CSK are Kings 11 Punjab and CSK are the only 2 teams who have played in all 3 grounds the 3 games.
Yes.
Others have had the advantage of at least playing in 2 consecutive grounds, same grounds. So these 2 teams have had a disadvantage of preparing in 3 grounds, right? So that is one thing. And if you take,
it will start meddling with the table.
You and Sharjah is a smaller ground,
yes.
And Sharjah's field of view for catches is very different. So you drop upward catches in Sharjah and Dubai pretty much, right? So these 2
Dubai is I've seen.
Dubai is the worst for catching. Because of the full ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ full cover ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. There are no tower lights. ಅದು full circumference ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ roof ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, roof full lights ಇದೆ. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಅದು ಇದಾಗ್ತಿದೆ. But yeah, I mean,
so that's why KKR and Kings 11 and KKR have only won 1 game, and they've actually played CSK and Kings 11 have only 1 game, and they have played in all 3 grounds. And the difference is that if you look at the 3 grounds, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and
Sharjah,
very different from each other.
With the number of games that have happened, right? So what I did was I categorized the runs between the difference in victory, right, of each game as large, small, and very close. And so the Dubai ground has actually given the largest difference in wins, right? So typically what happens, teams have won with larger difference, and Sharjah has been the closest. So the difference in Sharjah for the thing, it's all pretty close games or small difference games. So that means the team batting second can actually even the team can defend a score, and team batting second can score also. So the finishes are very close.
Sharjah, I think it's because it's the batting belter of all the 3 that will probably have more even contest in whatever sense. I mean, it may not be to our liking sometimes, but there will be run glut everywhere.
And the last thing I find is that for the last 4 years, what they've been following on toss, that's all gone out of the window now.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally out of
the toss logic is gone.
I wanted to talk, like there are so, I think ivattu 11th game alva, whatever.
14 games.
13 games. 14 games only. 9 games have won by batting first.
So I was waiting for 10 games to finish to consider anything as statistically significant. So 13 games agide iga. So
exactly.
I think still, as soon as they win the toss, they say we're going to bowl. I mean, everybody has done that.
Is it because of the lack of dew compared to Indian grounds that the chasing is not that easy?
What they say is chasing is a lot easier when you bat second in in the United Arab Emirates, whatever you want to call those 3 games. That's what I've heard so far. That's why everybody is fielding.
I think it's the time of the year and the dew and everything, because because they have to stick to the Indian 7:30 time. They are starting almost 6 p.m. or 5:30 in Dubai, right? So that that could also affect the actual dew calculation, which because the day-night game ends at almost 11 p.m. in India, but over there by 9 p.m. it's all over. I don't know if that makes a difference at all.
You guys are watching the game. The other day I cannot remember which game that was. They were using towel to wipe it out every ball. I don't even remember.
RCB, I know, that's why they were. I mean, that's why that was also a factor that there was so much dew on Chahal antu nela ella kaiyal uchkondu.
You remember that?
So I mean, maybe that's why the chase was possible. I don't know. So
who knows?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, only 3 grounds. And the Sharjah, every team will end up playing just 3 games each. And then ಇನ್ನೆರಡು Abu Dhabi and Dubai ಅಲ್ಲಿ it's 4 teams are going to play, 4 and 4 divide ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So 4 teams will play 7 games in one and 4 in the other. In 4 teams 7 games in the Abu Dhabi and 4 in
So 7 4 11 14 ಗೇಮ್ ಟೋಟಲ್.
14 game.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Another game and turf ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ pitch ಅಲ್ಲಿ, number of games ಅಲ್ಲಿ pitch ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ center ಅಲ್ಲಿ, so number of games, number of pitches they have, right? They play at least 3 games on a pitch and then they switch the pitch, right? So ನನ್ನ ಲೆಕ್ಕ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ we can't write off CSK, not because I'm a CSK fan, one of the most. This year I'm Rajasthan Royals fan for all practical reasons. ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನು. So then CSK and Kings 11 Punjab and Delhi Capitals, especially with Akshar Patel and also, you can't write off, is pitches will become slow and dew will be high. So that's when the ratio becomes dangerous. Now what the pitches are pretty hard, the dew factor is not impacting because you're getting over with the cross seam balls. Once pitch gets slow and dew will play, the teams which have these smartness will do well. So it's going to start in the next half of
the know what, when you if you talk about the smartness and everything, then Dhoni is going to come into play huge in the latter part of the tournament. Because he's he knows what's happening. I mean, he's probably one of the smartest captains I have seen so far.
I know, that's the beauty of IPL. I mean, I know they say it brings out this upcoming stars, and it gives opportunities to so many youngsters who would otherwise never get it, and they will always see just Kohlis and Sharmas everywhere. Like now ಈಗಲೇ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, Gill, Sundar, Dev, Padikkal, Bishnoi, you will not have heard about them without the IPL. But on the other extreme, it also gives you an opportunity to watch some of the retired superstars.
Oh, huge.
Like ABD, Watson, even Shane Warne for that matter in the first couple of seasons.
Yes.
And of course Dhoni. I mean,
Kieran Pollard.
No one bigger than Dhoni. No, Pollard is still considered, is not really considered retired, but
retired illa, but he is not picked for the test team and everything.
Sure. Yeah, they don't play. I mean, most of the West Indies, these are the T20 mercenaries, as they call themselves. They don't really play. I mean, the West Indies 11 that plays the test, they have a better 11 not playing the test match who are still active. Like Narayan, Bravo,
CSK has to make a decision about the problem with CSK is the first 2 opening batsmen are just batsmen.
Vijay has to go. I think Vijay
has to go. Vijay has become a baggage now.
Vijay expiry date has been in the past already. So
if Dwayne Bravo comes out of injury, then he comes in, they get an extra bowler and a batsman, and then they have the freedom to bring. I'm waiting for Dwayne Bravo to come in.
No, who's going to go? Watson ಆಡ್ತಾರೆ. Who is going to go then?
Vijay will go.
Karan ತೆಗಿತಾರೆ.
ಅಲ್ಲ no ಬ್ರಾವೋ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ 4 ತಾನೆ, maximum 4.
ಕರನ್ ಸ್ಯಾಮ್ ಕರನ್ ಅಂತ ತೆಗ್ಸಿ ಅವನನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು.
You think so? Sam Curran
ತೆಗಿಯಲ್ಲ ಅವರು.
ಆಲ್ರೌಂಡರ್ ಅಂತ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಲೈಕ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ.
I don't think they take Sam Curran out.
Or maybe they will drop Watson too, because if Raido is back, he can open and they can let Watson go.
Kashyapa, did you talk about the highest run chase of all time?
Yes. Yeah. That was the first thing. Tewatia, Samson,
Cottrell.
But remember, Shannon Cottrell, ಎಲ್ಲ ಓದ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ಅವನು. ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರೀತಿದ್ರು, ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಹೊಡೆಸ್ಕೊಂಡ, ಇವತ್ತು ನೋಡಿ he actually bowled really well. He went for 2 for 20 in 4 overs today against Mumbai. But one thing to note is Shannon Cottrell has always been a fantastic new ball bowler for West Indies as well as other teams. And so today he bowled, his 4th over was in the 12th over. So he 12th or 13th. But avattu he was used in, it was not his position to bowl the 18th over. So you can't really blame Cottrell for that. I mean, he's always been pretty bad in the death.
The other thing which I thought was Cottrell, obviously he was hitting. He was bowling, he not that he should have bowled short, but he was up to the batsman and ball ma 5 ಬಾಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಬಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ ಅವನು.
ಇವತ್ತು ಅದೇ ಆಗಿದ್ದು. ನೀಶಮ್ ಇವರು ಎಲ್ಲ ಪೊಲಾರ್ಡ್ಗೆ ಹಾರ್ದಿಕ್ ಪಾಂಡ್ಯಾಗ ಅದು ಅದೇ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ರು.
That was the same. That was the thing. I mean, they have played so much cricket. What are they doing ಅಂತ? But I mean, maybe there's a different strategy there. What do I know?
Looks like Bumrah is back in form. So
Yeah.
he did pretty good. Even super over, even he did pretty good. I mean, it's only 12 runs against ABD and Kohli. That's not bad at all. But he didn't have enough to contain anyway. We're almost out of time, but anyone wants to quickly build a fantasy 11 from the games gone so far?
Oh boy. ನೀನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಸ್ಟಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳು agree or not ಅಂತ
Okay, let me
Quick.
start so that we can save time. I'll start and then we can have some argument if you want to replace anyone, right? So to me, KL and Mayank fits in for the openers. I don't see any other consistent openers so far doing so well.
You don't want Shubman Gill then?
Just one game. He did one good game. That was an easy chase, 140 runs. Yeah, I mean it will change, but I think from the first 13 games,
Okay.
KL and Mayank, the two orange cap holders. Samson at 3.
Mhm.
ABD and Pollard.
Kashyap, I have to drop off. Okay, sorry. I have
Okay.
something coming. Okay, you all carry on.
Thanks, Karan.
Okay.
Thanks.
See you
Next
next
time.
week.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
ABD and Pollard ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. They've been in amazing form. 6-7 ಇನ್ನು ನಾನು ಸರಿ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. My bowling unit would be Bumrah, Archer and Rabada. You can't get better than that. And they're all three are
Yeah.
doing well. I'm struggling for a spinner and a number 6 hard hitter. I mean, I can go with Tavatia, but that was only one innings.
No, that's only one thing kind of.
Yeah.
No.
Spinner guy, I have Chahal or Chahar.
He bowled well, can I?
I know. Yeah. So, Vinay, you have any additions or changes?
I'm trying to think of that number 6 for you, and
I know. I
the
can't
spinners,
find the
it's
number 6.
impossible. I don't think there's been any standout spinners really. Even Chahal. I mean, it's so erratic, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can really pick him, but let me try to think of a number 6 because that's an interesting one.
Chahal, Chahar, Tavatia. Because see, I mean, I still want a better batsman because my bottom pacers. Maybe Archer.
Did you use up all 4 international spots?
Yeah, for me, yeah, it's Rabada, Archer, ABD, and Pollard.
Okay, so it has to be Indian.
Yeah, it has to be Indian. I know. I mean, there's no overseas spinner anyway. So
I know.
I like that Bishnoi kid, Kana.
Okay. Yeah.
He's bowled well. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Who's the other spinner on that team?
There's
The same team Bishnoi is on.
Krishnappa Gautam. ಅವನು ಇವತ್ತು ಒಂದಿನ ಆಡ್ದ.
No.
Oh, there was another guy.
The M in the ಶುರು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Oh, M.
Oh, yeah.
He was pretty good. He was decent.
He was decent. I don't think he got wickets, but he bowled well.
Ashwin.
Yeah, M. Ashwin. KKR as Varun Chakravarti. He was pretty decent. I would go with Chahal. I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
RCB.
he won a game single-handedly against Hyderabad for sure.
He did.
So
Yeah, that's true. That game he won. Totally.
yeah, I just need a hard-hitting number 6 now. Maybe Hardik. I don't know.
Hardik Pandya, yeah, I was gonna say him. He's Indian and he hasn't proven himself yet this IPL, but
But
He
the
was
thing
also
is,
not that
he's
guy.
not bowling. He's not bowling this season. He's only a batsman.
because of his injury or what?
Yeah, he had a
The back surgery?
back surgery, so he's only that's why I mean maybe he'll bowl later in the season.
ಇವತ್ತೇ ಒಂದೇ ರನ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ದವನು ಹಿಂದಿನ
Yeah.
ಸಾಲ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಒಂದ್ 2 6 ಹೊಡೆಯೋ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗೋನು.
Yeah.
He
You
played a
could
pretty
bring
good
Dhoni
today.
as well for number 6 if you want.
Maybe Dubey. I don't know.
Shivam Dubey, my God. ಅವ್ನು ಬೋಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಕಣ. He bowls too.
Yeah.
You can bring Dhoni too if you want for number 6.
Yes, he can be-
ಏನು ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅವನು
ಏನು ಹೊಡೆದಿಲ್ಲ ಅವನು.
the way
He's
he's
coming
batting.
in 7, 8.
I know. The way he's batting, I don't know if he should be in right now. Well, I mean, he will be in CSK team, but yeah.
Right.
ಹೇ ಧೋನಿನ ಕೋಹ್ಲಿನ ಕೂರ್ಸ್ಬಿಡ ಪರ್ಮನೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ.
I know. ಕೊಹ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. I mean, ನಾ ಹೇಳ್ದಾಗ ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದು ಬೌಂಡ್ರಿ ಹೊಡೆದಿಲ್ಲ ಅವನು.
Yeah.
ಒಂದ್ ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ಹಿಡಿದಿಲ್ಲ ಅದೇ ಹೇಳ.
Yeah. Maybe Manish Pandey. He has 250s.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
82 ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ.
ಒಂದೇ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಡಿದ್ದು. ಒಂದ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಡಾಗ್ಲೇ
I-
ಇಂಜುರಿ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾ ಟೀಮ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಾಳೆ ಐ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಪ್ಲೇ ಹಿಮ್.
I know, but you know what? That innings was really good, Kana.
Oh yeah, very good.
Is
Brilliant.
Prithvi Shaw just an opener, or can he play other spots?
So far, he's been only opener everywhere for India. For
You know
Mumbai.
what? Yeah, I mean, he seems to be good. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಹೊಡಿತಾನೆ. Somehow when he was younger, they compared him to, obviously Sachin Tendulkar. Then I kind of lost out on him.
Yeah, he got a name.
Everybody is a Sachin Tendulkar.
I mean, the comparison with Tendulkar is, yeah, I mean, he's short, he's from Mumbai, but that's where it ends. So,
true.
but yeah, I mean, he's talented for sure, but I mean, yeah, but I mean, he's quite impetuous. You know, Tumba he looks too busy, too cheeky sometimes. You know,
Yeah.
like Mayank Agarwal 5 years ago. You know, the kid has talent, Anoro, but he would never go past 20, 30. So,
But
yeah.
good. Hey,
Okay.
so far, you know what? I have enjoyed some of it, but the commentators are some. I don't want to listen to Sunil Gavaskar. I'm sorry. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of him. He's got same old English he's got. I mean, there is nothing novel about him at all.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why.
Every boundary line catcher, he has to talk about the up, the whole
Yeah, right.
facing up, facing down.
Yeah, when we
And
were
then,
playing, we never
once in-
caught that way. And things have changed since he
Once
played.
into twos, twos into threes, and ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಟ್ವೀಟ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಟೆವಾಟಿಯಾ ಮುಗಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಟೆವಾಟಿಯಾ started like Gavaskar and ended like Kapil Dev.
That's a good one. You remember? I know. Look, I just want to bring this. There's a Prudential, 50 over 60 overs is alavaga. Dennis Amos hit 100, and Sunil Gavaskar played 50 overs, hit 36, and it was a tough wicket of that.
Oh yeah, the first ever World Cup game.
First ever World Cup game. Remember that?
Correct.
Yeah, 36, and Amos hit
36
100.
not out.
Not out. Tough wicket on that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they scored 300 plus, and I think India, they just ambled for 140 or something and came back.
Even 36 not out of the Indian one block out purte. So anyway,
All right.
I think hopefully the next 1 week we'll have some better cricket. I mean, it's good cricket, but some exciting cricket.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, Guru.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Sridhar, thanks about Guru. Matana.
Thanks, guys. Wrap it up.
Thanks, everyone.
And next week with more IPL. Yeah.
Bye-bye.